Assalamualaikum and very good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Interior Design Concept Talk 2025, brought to you by Daikin Malaysia, the world #1 aircon brand. Topic for today's sharing is merging design and comfort, air conditioning solution for interior spaces. Highlights how cooling solution can beautifully blend with aesthetic, functionality, and sustainability. I'm Shira, your moderator for this session. Okay, we would like to thank you for all of you for joining for today's sharing. This talk will bring together professionals, designers, and solution providers to explore how aircon is not just about cooling, but how it integrates into design, function, and comforts of interior design. Great design is more than aesthetic. It's about comfort, efficiency, and smart choices. Today's session, we will learn how to blend interior aesthetics with advanced aircon solution that enhance any space comfort and functionality. What you will gain from today's sharing is inspiration for your next interior project. You will get knowledge on functionality, cooling aircon layout tips. Also, career building insight from Daikin own project expert. Okay, let me introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Kenny Lee Kok Wah from Daikin Malaysia. From Daikin Project Management, Daikin Malaysia Sales and Service Sdn Berhad. Mr. Kenny Lee is a senior executive in the HVAC industry, specializing in aircon installation quality, VRV system installation training, project management, and system design and specification. With almost 7 years of hands-on experience across both residential, also commercial projects, he will bring practical expertise and a strong attention to detail to every job. In his day-to-day work, Kenny ensures that aircon systems are installed correctly, meeting both Daikin standard and real-world performance requirement. He also works closely with consultants, architects, interior designers, and other stakeholders to select the most suitable air conditioning solution tailored to unique needs of each project. Today, Mr. Kenny Lee will be sharing insight on topic merging design and comfort, air conditioning solution for interior spaces. Without further delay, let's welcome Mr. Kenny Lee to take the visual stage. Over to you, Mr. Kenny.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Shira. First of all, welcome all of you for taking your time to participate in this sharing. So without further delay, I will share my slide and just give me a moment. All right. Will you be able to see my slide on the screen? Okay. All right. Right, today the sharing that I'm going to share with all of you is the basic aircon design and the understanding. And second, we talk about the ducted unit airflow design. And last will be the space requirement for the ducted unit. Because as we know that in the market, there are many types of aircon system available in the market. So as you can see on this slide, basically you can find that in the market, we have a single split system, which we can find very commonly in the market. What does single split system mean? Basically, it means that one outdoor compressor will couple with one indoor unit. This is what we call the single split system. So move forward, we have this multi-split system. The multi-split system, basically, we're still using one outdoor compressor to connect multiple indoor. But for this multi-split system, if we have 3 indoor units, we need to lay 3 sets of piping, even though it's connected to one outdoor compressor, but we still need 3 sets of piping to connect to each individual indoor system, right? So move on, we have this VRV system. Okay, what's the specialty for this VRV system? Basically, it's more advanced, okay? You can consider more advanced technology. We are using this one outdoor compressor with one set of piping going to your room or your house, and then we branch out and connect it to every single indoor unit. So these are the difference between the system that we have available in the market: single split, multi-split, and VRV. Okay, to help you to have the better understanding. Okay, if you look at this photo, right, you can see that we have this one outdoor compressor. Okay, in this house, there are several multiple indoor units. So you can see that the piping is from outdoor, okay? Only lay one set of piping. Whenever it comes to the indoor unit, it will branch out, okay? It will connect it to all individual single unit. So in this case, actually, we can help us to reduce the piping work, first of all. Secondly, when we come to the site condition that where we have the very limited space for the air connect, and VRV is one of the best options for us to consider. Okay, so now we move on to the type of indoor unit. In the market, there are many types of indoor unit. Okay, I'm sure all of you have noted that. Okay, are well known about wall mounted. Okay, for the cassette unit, basically we have a different type of cassette unit available in the market. The most common cassette unit that we saw on the market is the round type. Okay, but actually beside this round type, we have a two-way cassette, we have one-way cassette, and we have this one-way special cassette unit. What is our one-way special cassette unit? Basically, this unit is specially designed to serve for the closet, to serve for the bathroom, or maybe for the kitchen area. So move on. We have this ceiling suspended. Usually, when you go to the shopping mall, go to this convenience store, you can very commonly that they will install at their store, okay, ceiling suspended, okay. And the next one, we have this ducted unit, okay. The ducted unit, it can divide it into like different type of selection. First, we have this 3D panel, which means that it's a ducted unit, but it comes with their own panel, right? The other three, we have the low static, medium static, and also high static. And all these 3 ducted units, it doesn't come with the panel. So in order for us to install it, we need to install the hard duct and connect it to the flexible duct for air supply and air return. And last one will be this floor standing. Okay, the floor standing, from here you can see they have a 2 type of floor standing. Okay, that looks similar, but one it comes with the panel. Okay, one is come with panel. The other one, the second one, it comes with the bare unit. Meaning to say that if you selected this bare unit for standing unit, you need to install or maybe to have this declaration in order for you to cover this bare unit for standing, okay, to make some beauty on it, to make some declaration on it in order for us to cover this for standing unit. Okay, so to put everything in summarize, basically for the indoor unit location, wall mounted, everyone have get familiar with it, we just install at the wall. Ceiling cassette, the ceiling unit, the cassette unit installed at the ceiling, which we can see the panel, right? For the ducted unit, as I mentioned just now, we have two types of ducted unit. One ducted unit is come with a panel. So usually we will doing the drop ceiling. Okay, we do a drop ceiling, install the ducted unit in this drop ceiling, and then to display this panel, right? And we have this four standing, okay, with the four standing unit, and the other one will be the ducted unit that is totally height or concealed above the ceiling, which we don't see. We have to connect it with the hard duct, the flexible duct, in order for us to do the supply air and discharge air. Okay, basic aircon design understanding. So when we come to the aircon design, basically there is a step for us to follow or maybe to consider. First, we will have this total 5 step. First step will be the selecting the indoor unit based on the room functionality and also the ceiling design. After this, we will do the calculation. We have to decide how many horsepower that we need to use for this room. How many horsepower that this room is needed in order for us to put out this room. First step, we have to select, okay? Let's say if we selected the ducted unit, we have to decide where is the location for the outlet and inlet supposed to located so that we can get the even air distribution, okay? Fourth will be the best location for the indoor unit. Fifth, last one will be the best location for the outdoor unit. Okay, when we talk about the room functionality, okay, we have like many type of room. Okay, some if you decide for the room that, like for example, the ballroom, the banquet room, okay, or maybe some of the kitchen, bedroom, okay, different room functionality. They have a different aircon, Daikin have different aircon for us to select. Okay, so that's why for the room functionality is very important. Secondly, once we know that what this room used for or what is the purpose for this room, then we go for this ceiling design. We have to know how the ceiling design looks like in order for us to select the correct aircon, correct indoor unit in order for us to like merge into the overall interior design. Okay, if you look at this ceiling design, basically there are few options available in the market. First will be this spec ceiling design, side drop ceiling design, okay, and a center drop ceiling design, where you can see in the middle of this room there's a drop ceiling, okay. And some of the project, okay, we can see that now today people they like to have a special ceiling design which they're using the timber strip or wooden strip. So basically this is another option that we can see in the market, the wooden ceiling design. Or another is the central drop ceiling design that to serving these two areas. And lastly will be this double volume area. Okay, so basically these are the few ceiling design that we can most likely see in the market. So in order for us to like spec in our aircon, there are few documents that we need to get from our interior designer because so that we can understand the condition better. First of all, we'll get the floor plan. If you have the 3D drawing, even better, so that we will know how does the overall design will looks like, where is the furniture located, how's the light installed, and then we have the ceiling plan, and even though the section view drawing also helpful to us. And last but not least, after we gather all the information, we also need to go to a site for the site visit, because some of the information we might not be able to see everything on the drawing on the paper. So that's why for us, when we before we do our spec in, we will go to the site to visit the site to get more detail, get the confirmation before we start our aircon drawing. Okay, moving on to the step 2. Okay, now we have to like once we have all the drawing, we have what are the indoor unit selection in our mind. Then we have to choose how many horsepower that we have to select for this particular room. Okay, so that's why for step 2, we have to do the heat load calculation to select what is the horsepower or the cooling capacity for this room. Right. When we talk about the horsepower, right? When we're doing the horsepower calculation or cooling capacity calculation, first we have to understand where is the heat would come from. So if you look at this photo or look at this slide, basically there are two sources of heat coming from. One is the external, one is the internal. Okay. For internal, basically it comes from the equipment, for example, like the computer or the printer, appliances like the stove, refrigerant, the freezer, everything all can generate the heat, right? Not only that, the human, okay, also will have heat on it. That's why we have the people load. Okay, these are the heat that coming from internal. Okay, and if we move on to the external, you can see, okay, of course, definitely it's a solar load. Okay, the heat that directly from the sun. Okay, where these are transmission load and also the refrigeration load. Okay, these are the heat that we have to consider before we select our aircon horsepower. So to put things into a simple way for you to understand, okay, I come up this table for you. Okay, this is a heat load factor table. Basically what it means, like, it means that in order for me to or for us to cool down this room, how much heat that we have to remove up from this room in an hour. So you can refer to this table as a guideline. Say, for example, for future, if you have a site on the spot, the client asking you, okay, with the room site like this, how much horsepower do I need? So later I will show you a formula. Okay, with this formula, you can just getting the horsepower that needed for the aircon and then reply to your client, to your customer. Okay, you can refer to this table. As you can see here, we have a different areas listed. We have the living room, dining room, bedroom, closet, dry kitchen, and bathroom. Each of the area, you have a different heat load factor, 80 to 90, okay, 70 to 80, or maybe 70 to 80. Okay, this is just a guideline for you. Okay, once you get this heat load factor, then the second thing that you have to consider is another heat load factor. What do I mean by another heat load factor? Say, for example, if this house is facing west, usually house that facing west in the evening is getting very hot, right? And then we have this glass window. Yeah, a glass window. Say, for example, if this room or if this house have a lot of glasses, the window glass, you also can generate a lot of heat to this house. And next one will be the double volume. Okay, a living room usually they have a double volume, so we have to add another extra factor into it before, so that we can make sure that once we do our sizing the spec in, it's enough to cool down the whole area. And last but not least, and which is very important, is this client expectation. Because different people they have a different expectation on coolness. Some people they like it to be very cool. When I say very cool, we need to say they want to have like 20 degrees Celsius or 18 degrees Celsius feeling, that kind of coolness. But some people, they just want to have 24, 25, that is good for them. Okay. So the most comfort temperature, right, is fall within the range from 23 to 25. These are the most comfort range. But of course, some people, they want to be very cool. So that's why when we talk to the client, besides consider all the environmental factors, okay, the most important, we have to ask the client what is their expectation on the coolness. Okay, after we gather all this information, then we know that the total heat load factor that we have to use for the formula that I'm going to show to you. Okay, see, for us to do the cooling capacity calculation, this is the formula. You have to use the area in square feet times the heat load factor, then you get the cooling capacity. Okay, so from this slide, you can see I have a room. Say, for example, in this master bedroom, the size is 14 feet times 18 feet. Okay, the formula basically step 1 is to first we calculate what is the room size in square feet. 18 times 14 is equal to 252 square feet, right? Then we have to decide what is the factor that we to use. Okay, for this case, I'm using the bedroom. referring to this 7 heat load factor. So that's why here it's showing 70 heat load factor. With the calculation 252 square feet times 70 factor, okay, BTU. So I'm getting 17,640 BTU per hour. Meaning to say that in 1 hour, there is that much of heat that have to remove out from this room in order for me to cool down this room. So once you gather this info, okay, you know that, okay, with the room size like this, okay, with the heat load factor that listed, okay, that you refer, okay, with this total cooling capacity or the BTU that you needed, you can refer to our Daikin catalog, product catalog. From here, okay, it can show the product name, the model name with different kind of BTU. So make sure that when you select, okay, when you do your selection, you always choose the model or the horsepower that bigger than the required cooling capacity. So in this case, I'm choosing 17,100 BTU. Okay, you never go for the lower one. Okay, because if you go for the lower than the required, okay, so your room might not be that cold. At the time after that, owner might complain. Okay, client might complain. But of course, sometimes we might meet some client requirement or the request saying that, oh, I do not need that much of big horsepower aircon in my room. Okay, so will we reduce it, the selection or the model? Yes, we will reduce it, but we will state it clearly to the client that this is what they want, because we don't want to have any like future unnecessary disagreement or maybe dispute within the client. So whatever the client that requested, we will state it to them that suppose BTU needed, okay, for this room is that much. If you need to have a lesser, so they have to take note on the consequences. The room might not be so cold. Okay. So after that, you can go for the indoor unit selection. Okay, as I mentioned from my previous slide, we have the ceiling conceal type with the panel, ceiling conceal type without the panel, the wall mounted, and the ceiling cassette type. Okay, so far so good. Okay, next, move on. After we have gathered the functionality, ceiling design, and the heat load calculation, okay, next we have to select or we have to define, okay, decide where is the airflow outlet and inlet. Because the inlet and outlet, okay, is very important. It can affect your cooling result. For example, on this slide, you can see that if my inlet is facing directly or installed directly in front of this outlet, right? So this room will not cool. Why? Because whatever cold air that discharge from the unit, it will directly suck back and return back to the system. So meaning to say that in this situation, we create the cold air short circuit. So meaning to say that the people that in this room, like, they will not feel the coolness because the air, the cool air, doesn't have the chance to reach down and then return back to the unit. Okay, so in this case, it's very important that for us to decide where is the inlet and outlet are located. But in order for us to improve the condition, okay, instead of placing the outlet, the inlet direct opposite or in front the outlet, you can place below bottom of the unit. So in this case, they will have a very good air circulation. As you can see from this photo, it's a very good air circulation inside this room, so that people, they can feel the coolness, they can enjoy the coolness. Okay. So these are the type of grills or diffuser that are available in the market. You can see we have this single D grill, double diffusion grill, a linear grill, come with the 2 to 4 slot, and then we have the bar grill, frameless. Okay, even though for the round diffuser, they have a different type of round diffuser available in the market. Depends on the application, how and where we want to use it, and also the round air vent. Okay, this photo basically to show that nowadays in the market, we can easily get the grill that come in the color that can match into your furniture color. So especially that nowadays owner, they want to have something that is so special, some aesthetic. They want to achieve the aesthetic design in their whole house. So if you put a white color diffuser here, definitely it doesn't look good. That's why now in the market it come out a lot of like feature diffuser design that can blend into your interior design, the color, the aesthetic, which I think is very good. Okay, next, fourth step, we have to choose the best location of indoor unit. Okay, if you look at this photo, right? Okay, look at this slide. I have these three positions, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, based on what I have just shared just now, which location you think is the best for you to install the indoor unit? Okay, you can put your answer on this chat room. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Which location you think is the best, okay, for us to install this indoor unit? Just give you like 5 seconds and put your answer there. Because putting the indoor unit location or select the indoor unit location is very important, because our whole objective, right, to place our indoor unit location, because we want to achieve, okay, a smooth airflow, we need to achieve the even air distribution. People inside this room, they can feel comfortable, and then we try to remain the ceiling design, okay, not to do too much changes on the ceiling design. So these are the objectives that when we come to the aircon position, we will keep all these 4 factors into mind, okay, so that we can select the best location. So far, we have any people that giving their guess, okay, but to me, right, okay, in this location or in this drawing, definitely location number 3 is the best location comparing to 1 and 2, because if I put it location the unit at location 3, I can serve the whole area. Okay, I can serve the whole area. Secondly, I just do the partial drop ceiling, so not much changes on my ceiling design. Okay, just so if you still remember, we have this special cassette type aircon that available in the market, and this is what I mean, the kitchen unit. This unit we can install at the kitchen. Usually when we install this kitchen unit, okay, we do not install directly facing to the stove. Okay, we will put it into the side row, okay, which will keep a distance for 1 meter away from the stove. Okay, because nowadays people they enjoy the cooking. A lot of people they enjoy the cooking. Okay, but usually people they will not install aircon in their kitchen because Malaysian night we cook a lot. There's a smoke, and then maybe there's some oily cook. Okay, so it can easily spoil the normal aircon system. But with this special design aircon kitchen aircon, we can install it, but just have to bear in mind that we do not install it directly facing to the stove. They need to have a distance 1 meter away. Okay, next will be this bathroom unit. Okay, the cassette unit also we do not install directly brought to the tub. Okay, people might feel overcooked. And then closet unit, they have this humidity control feature, which can help us to protect our leather goods. Okay, for this aircon, we also do not install which we face roll direct toward the wall, because it might cause compensation. So that's why all these indoor unit location also put into consideration before we install it. Okay, last will be this best outdoor location. For our VRV system, we have 2 types. One type of outdoor compressor is having this side discharge, meaning to say that the hot air is discharged from the side. Another one is the top discharge. Okay, when we selecting the outdoor location, okay, or the compressor location, these are the few factors, the element that we have to consider. First, the place need to have a very good air ventilation for this aircon system to discharge the hot air. Secondly, you need to have a very good suction air, meaning to say that there's no blockage. Third will be the sufficient louver opening. Let's say if there's a louver installed. Okay, and fourth will be the excess maintenance. Lastly will be the sufficient service space. Okay, because aircon either is an indoor unit or outdoor unit, we need to do regular maintenance. So that's why all these are access or maintenance and service space for maintenance is important. Okay, from this photo, you can see that some of the air compressor were installed, okay, at the area that or space that where they have the lower protection, okay, and so if this happen, like this is there's one problem that can occur to the system. This is what we call the hot air short circuit. What does hot air short circuit mean? It means that whatever hot air discharge from this outdoor compressor, it draw back and suck back by the system itself. So whenever there's a hot air short circuit happen, okay, it can come up some issue. Okay, it will come up some issue to the system. So for example, what are the issue that can cause this system? First, definitely the efficiency of coolness will decrease. Okay, the capacity also will reduce. And then because our Daikin aircon, we have this like safety feature. Whenever the temperature reach to certain degree, okay, when it's over the accepted temperature, it will have an auto cut off. So in this case, it will cause inconvenience to the owner because owner must, using the aircon suddenly got tripped off, or the whole system will shut down. This is because of the system self-protection. And last will be this lifespan for the outdoor also will affect that. Okay, so that's why it's very important that when we're doing the design or when we're placing our aircon compressor, we have to make sure that the hot air can discharge smoothly. There's no blockage in front. And then secondly, they need to make sure that they have a sufficient amount of cold air that can enter to this room or to this aircon compressor area or the air conditioner. So to make sure that everything is in order and system can run smoothly. Okay. Next section, I will talk about this ducted unit airflow design. Okay, because like I mentioned just now, in the market there are many type of like seating design available in the market. When we come to the wall-mounted, the cassette unit, basically to me is quite straightforward. But with this different type of seating design, actually by using this air ducted unit, actually you can play around with the design. There's many design that we can like collaborate together with the ID, your concept and owner requirement to come up some of the good result to the client. For example, that we have the flat ceiling, side drop, central drop. Okay, as you can see from here, okay, if we have the flat ceiling, we can install the concealed ducted unit above the ceiling and doing the down supply and down return design. Okay. If we have the side drop ceiling, no issue. We also can install the ducted unit. Okay. Come with the own panel itself, or maybe like install it over here with the long bar grill diffuser or grill install. Okay. The central drop ceiling. So if I put it into the summary, you can see that basically there are the only few type of like the airflow design that we can propose to our client. Okay, for example, in this slide, like you can see that this room, if you want to maintain the height ceiling in this room, instead of drop the ceiling on this entire room, we can select one corner, a partial drop. Okay, we're doing a side supply, okay, a side discharge, and then down return. So in this case, this whole room can enjoy the coolness, yet at the same time we can maintain the highest the ceiling height to maintain it high. Okay, another design will be like a side discharge and side return. Usually this design we do at the living room or kitchen area. Okay, unit sitting here doing the side discharge, and then we're using the left and right opening for the return. Okay, this is another design that you can consider. Okay, when it comes to the flat ceiling, we can do the down supply and down return. Okay, and for this design, we call it the truck design. As you can see here, for this opening line, this is a supply, the air supply, and this is the air return. There's no grill installed at this opening. Okay, because previously for our last time design, you can see that people might install the grill or diffuser at this opening. But whenever we're doing this design, make sure that we do not select the aluminium type of diffuser or grill, because aluminium type, it can easily cause condensation. Okay, if you want to choose, you can go for the ABS type. ABS type, you have a less opportunity to have the condensation. Okay, another selection or maybe design that we can have is this. Let's say if there's a drop, okay, it's a two area, okay, dining room and living room. If there's a drop in the center, we can place our unit in this center place to serving these two different areas, dining and living. So this also quite well accepted by the client, because using one space to install two aircon indoor unit. So in summary, these are the three types of airflow design that we have. Okay, side throw, down return. Okay, you can see here, and down throw, down return. And then the last one will be the side throw, side return. Okay. Okay, space requirement for ducted unit. Okay, whenever we install the ducted unit, if we install in the ceiling, for example, we have this in ducted unit. Okay, unit itself is 200 mm height. Okay, 200 mm height. So let me ask you a question. If I would like to request a drop ceiling, okay, or maybe okay for you when you design this ceiling, right? How much space that you are willing to give, okay, in order for us to install this ducted unit? Okay, so my question, my unit height is 200. How much space that do you think we need, okay, for this drop ceiling in order for us to install this ducted unit? Anyone? Can you put your answer? Let's say if you are the one who decide how much space that needed to drop, what is your answer will be given on this question? Okay, unit itself is 200 mm. How much space you think we need in order that you can give in order for us to install this ducted unit? Is there any answer? 250, okay. 250, okay. 300, all right. 450, wow, very good, okay. Okay, so I can say that basically the range is from 250 to 450, right? Right, 250 to 450, okay. All right, very good, okay. Okay, now let me give you the answer to show you. Okay, of course, the more is better, but sometimes owner or maybe cannot accept, okay, the big drop ceiling like that. Okay, just to show you, okay, you see when we talk about the ceiling, okay, a lot of time we only see what is outside the ceiling, but we don't see inside what is inside the ceiling. Okay, if you can see right from this photo, a ceiling design is like that. We have this ceiling board at the bottom here, okay, at the bottom here, and then we have this ceiling frame, or we call the LGS frame. Okay, the frame itself is already taken up 40 mm with the board 10 mm. So meaning to say that from my board to here is already 50 mm. Am I right? So if you are given like 250, definitely it will not enough. It doesn't enough for us to install this ducted unit, because our unit cannot all the way install attaching to the slab. We need to have some gap. So what we need to request, okay, the minimum we need to have at least 100 mm. With this 100 mm, okay, 4 inch, okay, 2 inch already given to the ceiling. The balance of 2 inch, okay, is use it for 1 inch for the top, upper gap, and then another 1 inch is for the bottom one. So that's why our requirement is minimum we need to have at least 100 mm. But of course, for those who given like 350 or 400, 450, that's even better. But because it's easy for us to work. But as we know that sometimes our owner that might not be so easy or maybe to you, you might have your own requirement that you're not allowed to have that much of drop, okay, on the ceiling. So I think 400 or 450 might be too much lah. But 300 to 350 is quite, to me, is quite reasonable. It's much better, okay. So for future, when you come to the design, when you come to this ducted unit aircon selection, like maybe you can like consider this, okay, take this, that, you know, the space they have consumed by the ceiling, okay, all these like ceiling frame that have consumed the space, so at least we have a 100 mm. Okay, so next will be this one. Okay, sometime when we come to the ducted unit design, you can see from here, right, we have this side connection and top connection. Okay, what do I mean by side connection? Meaning to say that our flexible duct connected to our parent box from the side, and the top connection is the flexible duct connected to the parent box on the top. The collar is on the top. Okay, so in the market, sometimes we also have these two type of design. Okay, depends on the site condition. So why we will have this top connection? That's because when we have the ceiling height that more than 4 meters and above, very high. Okay, very high. So usually we will go for this top connection. Okay, why? It's because we want to make sure that the air, okay, after they come to this parent box, right, it can throw directly to the people's standing level or people's sitting area. Okay, because if we do the side connection, okay, it will take a bit longer time for us to feel the coolness with the height ceiling like this, more than 4 meters. That's why we will do the top connection to make sure that when the air come out from this parent box, it will go all the way to the level that where people sit or stand. So the people, they can feel the coolness, not to say instantly, but faster than the side connection. Okay. So another design that we have that I want to show to you is that when it comes to the building structure, they have a lot of beam. Okay. Instead of having one aircon, the indoor unit to serve the whole area, because of the beam, because of the limited ceiling space, okay, we have to do two different indoor unit, okay, so that we make sure that the flexible duct will not cross over the beam because of the limited ceiling space. So this is one of the example that they want to share to you, that when we have a very limited ceiling space, these are the options that you can consider. Okay, for our cassette, okay, cassette unit, they also have certain space requirement for us to follow. Okay, sometimes we might install our cassette unit too near to the wall or too close to the window glass. Okay, this not only will cause the cool air to return back to the unit, causing the cool air short circuit. If we install too close to the window glass, it might have the condensation happen. That's why there is the installation space requirement that you can refer. For example, between two cassette units, you need to have at least 4 meters. Okay, but then away from the wall is about 1.5 meters. Right? Let's say if there's a ventilator, exhaust fan, what is the space that a distance it to have? Okay, all this also is a guidance for us, right? So that, because we do not want to have the design that where not to cause the cooling comfort to the client, yet at the same time it will cause some issue to the system itself. So that's why the location or the requirement, the spacing requirement is quite important when we come to aircon design. And especially for the service maintenance hole, we need to have make sure that to have enough service maintenance holes, the spacing for us to go up and do our service, to do our regular maintenance. So that's all for my sharing. And then I'll pass the time back to you, Ms. Sheila. So far, you have any question that you would like to ask?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kenny Lee, for the informative session. Now, right, we want to open for Q&A session. So, in case you have any question, please drop in the chat, or you also can unmute your mic and you can directly ask us. So far, any question?
Okay, we have a James. Okay, we have a James. There's a question to ducted indoor unit require less maintenance. It's not about a ducted unit or cassette unit or wall mounted. It's really depends on your usage. How often you use the turn on the unit. Okay. Of course, it also depends on the surrounding environment. If we stay at the neighborhood that is close to this industrial area, the air quality is very bad. Then, of course, we need to have a regular maintenance. So usually, how often do we do the maintenance? In a yearly, in 1 year, usually you can do 2 to 3 times maintenance. Okay, you can do like a normal maintenance. What I mean by normal maintenance is that you can do like washing the filter to make sure that the filter is clean all the time. Okay, and then if you stay at the industrial area that where the air quality is very bad, you can consider to do the chemical cleaning maintenance. Chemical service lah, okay, but that one you do not need to do much. One time 1 year is good enough. Okay, next question. Is it true that a higher horsepower air conditioner is more energy efficiency? All right. To answer this question, right, Ro, when we talk about efficiency, right, the power consumption is in a good efficiency, right? First of all, we have to me, I think we have to select the correct horsepower for that particular room. Okay. Say for example, if this room, I need like 2 horsepower, okay, to serve this room. Say for example, okay. If I'm choosing, instead of choosing 2 horsepower, if I choose 1.5 or 1 horsepower, even though this indoor unit is rated 5-star, okay, because there's an insufficient of the cooling capacity, meaning to say that this unit has to keep on running, right? Keep on running in order for this unit to cool this whole room. So definitely, even though it's a 5-star indoor unit, it will not achieve any energy efficiency. So that's why I say that choosing horsepower is very important. Okay. Of course, some people might think that if there's a case, can I go for higher horsepower? If this room I need 2 horsepower, and let's say if I go for 2.5, 3 horsepower, is there an issue? It's not. It will not be any issue. Of course, two things that have to bear in mind. First is the client expectation, whether this client like it very cool. Secondly, if we spec oversized, okay, really be like cost efficiency is not there because suppose I just need 2 horsepower, but ended up I buy 3 horsepower. So the cost will be higher, right? In terms of the equipment. So we have to consider cost efficiency. So I hope this will answer your question, Aro. Okay, if cassette unit require fresh air intake, how many percentage of fresh air or airflow can be allowed? It really depends on the model, because different model have a different requirement. Usually, if you think that a fresh air, we will not bring like 100%, definitely not 100%, because you have to consider this. Fresh air is humid, it's hot, we bring from outside. If we have this 100%, right, meaning to say that if this room I spec in 2 horsepower, maybe it will not feeling the cool because 100% fresh air coming from outside to this room. So it's humid and it's hot. So I have to refer back to the catalog. Okay, it depends on the unit model to decide how many percentage fresh air they need to bring in. Okay. Next, does Daikin contribute to sustainable building design? Sustainable building design. Maybe you can elaborate more on this question. The last question. What do you mean by contribute to sustainable building design? Are you referring to the green building? If you're referring to the green building, yes, we do have the unit that is like fall into this category, and there's also have the design that can meet this requirement. If this is what you asked for. Okay. Any more question? Yes. Yes. Okay. %. You need to bring 100% fresh air. Actually, we do have our fresh air unit. We have this VAM. We call it the VAM, right? If you have a client that you concerned about the air quality, want to bring fresh air to their maybe office, the children's study room, right? You can go to our Daikin website. You can check for this product. We call it the VAM. Okay. This product actually it can bring in fresh air. Okay, it can bring in fresh air to our indoor. Yet at the same time, it can do the heat exchange. What do I mean by heat exchange, right? Because when the outside air that we bring in is hot, is humid. So when it comes to this unit, okay, this device, okay, the VM1 device, there is the element that where they can do the heat exchange. The inside room, okay, the inside room can discharge, or you can say, okay, the inside air that need to like exhaust out will crossing through this outside air. So in this case, it can pre-cool the outside air. So when the outside air reach to the room, right, it is drier, and then it is not that hot. So in this case, that you can achieve this like fresh air requirement. At the same time, you do not have to too concerned about whether this fresh air will reduce the cooling coolness the coolness in the room. Let's see whether I can find this the VAM for you. Okay.
Okay, very good. The Q&A session active. So if you have any question, you can drop a question at our chat room, chat area, or maybe you can unmute your microphone and you can ask, so we can answer your question.
Okay, just to share with you this one. Okay, you can see my slide here. Okay, this is what I mentioned just now. The VAM is a heat recovery ventilator. Okay, see, like this unit, like there's a heat exchanger here. So the outside air, when it coming to the indoor, become a supply air. It will have the heat exchange within the return air inside the room, passing through here and source out. So meaning to say that the outside air temperature is 29. Okay, when you bring it in, it will become 27 because they did a pre-cool at this area. Okay, so this is the VM, this model that I just mentioned is can bring in fresh air to our room. Okay, at the same time, it can do the exhaust, okay, to bring out the return air inside the room to exhaust out. Okay, hope this will answer your question.
If no, you have any question more? All right. If there is no question, I will ask the last question. All right, Mr. Kenny, you one of the judges for the review presentation. And then, what your tips? A lot of here university. So what is your tip? Because for the one who done them on their active design, so give them what is the period for the aircon set. So what's your tips and maybe your advice? Speak with our presentation. What we should do during for them to win the eco design segment.
Yeah. All right. Because this year topic is talking about the creativity, right? Okay. I think whatever that I share on this slide in this section, okay, even though it's a beyond the creativity, but have to bear in mind that in terms of the aircon aspect view, it have to be like something that I can say that meet the basic requirement. For example, if there is a drop ceiling with the timber wood design, so is it okay to put the cassette unit there? If it okay, how is your solution or how your design, the end result will look like? I think these are the sharing that I have. Okay, and I saw there's a one last question here. Would the outdoor
Mr.
unit,
James Low.
would the outdoor unit with the VRV system be able to handle such a high heat load alone? Yes, but it comes with there's a set point, the off point that we cannot go over it, because for our VRV system, just for your information, actually we set all over the world. Even though in Dubai, Dubai is is a country that where have such a high hot temperature in country, and the weather is very hot. So there's no issue for us to to use the VRV system there. So yes, it can handle such a high heat load, but within the accepted range.
All right. Okay, thank you. Maybe that's the last question for this session. Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Kenny Lee, for this sharing. That's wrap up our session on aircon solution for interior spaces. Big thank you to Mr. Kenny Lee for sharing such a valuable insight, and to all attendees for joining. We hope this today's session gives you a new perspective on integrating comfort, style, and sustainability into your interior spaces. Until next time, take care and stay cool with Daikin. All right, before we end this session, I would like to ask, you can open your camera because we want to take the group photo. Okay, everyone, on the camera, and then we can take the group photo together. Jangan malu. I think everyone not ready, maybe? Together. Okay. Okay. Siapa nak snap picture? Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. I count. Wait, where's my snap? Okay, I count. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.